What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Real Junkies. I'm your host, Ferran, here again with my man Vito, and y'all will notice there's an extra face here today. Special edition episode with the director of the Ann Arbor Black Film Festival, Chris Anderson, discussing a film, Stormy Weather, which they just showcased at a recent event. Chris, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, a little bit about your background with the Ann Arbor Black Film Festival, and then also why you decided Stormy Weather as the film of choice here.
Well, thank you, Farhan. Thank you, Vito. I really appreciate being here today. Um, so, my name is Chris Anderson. I am a film enthusiast, film historian. I do work not only for the Ann Arbor Black Film Festival, but also for the Ann Arbor Film Festival and a lot of other sort of media events that happen in Michigan. Um, I chose Stormy Weather basically because I never heard of it when I was growing up in my film classes, and basically it turned out so. Um, like I we talked about what we talked about Lena Horne in film school. We
Mhm.
talked about some black media growing up in film school, and I felt like I had a robust education in that. But like it's just really interesting, like how a film like this that had so many prolific artists, Fats Waller, Ada Brown, Cab Calloway, the Nicholas brothers, Bilbo Jangles Robinson, like all these amazing artists all in one picture, produced by 20th Century Fox. And there were some older films I was looking at, but like this film, I think is actually really important specifically because, um, like a like you see all this black talent and like how they've all come together to build something beautiful, but B, you also see like evidence that like 20th Century Fox was kind of pushing back on them a little bit to
Mhm.
like, hold on, no, you guys are still black in America, so we're gonna make you have some other elements in this film to put you back in your place, and it's just very interesting to me.
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely one of the things I noticed when I saw the film yesterday was there was a lot of moments of black empowerment, but those scenes are like immediately followed up with like, all right, we need to
Yeah.
have someone in blackface, we need to have minstrel looking characters. Like that has to
Exactly.
immediately follow anything positive that
Right. I,
happened
was-
in
I
that
was I
film.
was somewhat confused. I'm watching. I'm like, this is a black. Then like, I'm looking at him at one minute, and then I'm like, okay, he's significantly darker, and that is not his
Yes.
skin tone right now.
That is not what that man looks like in real life.
Well, and it's really interesting because like Lena Horne specifically had a contract that stipulated that she wasn't allowed to she did not want to be rather portrayed as anyone as a other than a native of the United States, so like no native of another country,
Mhm.
also not a maid or like not a like lower class job because she could afford to hire these people.
Yeah. Yeah, and I imagine, like, at the time in the '40s, those were probably the only roles a lot of black actors were offered at the time.
Well, yeah, that's actually a really big point, right? Like, so the Urban League and the NAACP were working really hard to push Hollywood to offer more diversity, like behind the camera and in front of the camera. But
Mhm.
then, like when Lena Horne got her job, basically because MGM was like, "See, we hired one."
Yeah.
Um, they basically like all the black people working in the sort of medium tasks were like, well, what, like, are we just supposed to like somehow magically get a high paid contract like that? That's not
Mhm.
reality for us. Like,
Yeah.
you're like they felt like Lena was pushing them out of the job while also
Mm.
like changing how studios saw how lucrative black people can be in their projects.
Yeah. And I remember you saying that this was, I believe, her Lena Horne's highest grossing film, or
Yeah,
one of them? Okay.
yeah, no. It went internationally and, like, cleaned up. So, like, she would go around when she did her tours around the world, and they were like, "Oh, Lena Horne, we know you from Stormy Weather." And she's like, "What?"
Yeah. She's like, "Y'all saw that over here?" Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I definitely think for me, one of the things about this film that stood out, something actually that was brought up yesterday, sound quality for a movie that was made in the '40s was, I think, very high. But one of the things I actually was really drawn to when I was watching this was it felt very unapologetically black in the scenes that were where they were allowed to be. I'll say that, right? Like,
Right.
for a film that was made in its time, to your point, there was definitely a lot of 20th Century Fox going, okay, now we can't let this get too out of control. Now we still have to acknowledge and put these people in their place to an extent. But that was one thing that stuck out to me in my initial viewing of this is like there's a lot of just very unapologetically black scenes and scenes of black people who have a lot of class, who have a lot of status, which I wasn't really expecting to see when I, sat down to watch this. My immediately thought is, all right, this is made in the 40s. Sure, there's black actors, but they're not going to allow them to be that progressive. They're not going to allow them to be shown in that well of a light. And I was actually very pleasantly surprised by how much of this film you saw black characters that were portrayed as articulate, who carried themselves well, who had a lot of stats and class and status. I was actually very surprised by that.
So
And there was code switching in that film too,
right.
right? Like
Hmm.
you could see that from Sam Dooley, his character, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like Gabriel just trying to present himself
I
as a
love
rich
Gabe.
person. His whole voice and demeanor changes,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
then he's like the shoe shine guy, like doing that thing. And even at the end with Cab Calloway when he's talking jive,
hmm
Hmm.
like I never thought code switching was as old as the 40s, but
Yes.
obviously,
So Gabe is probably my favorite character in here because
right?
everybody knows somebody like Gabe, and Gabe just got a lot going on and nothing going on at the same
Oh, he's got to
time, which is
hustle.
amazing. That is amazing that you can
Absolutely.
have so much going
Yeah.
on and so little going on at the same time. But like you said, it's about it being it's just a black. I'm gonna call it what it's a picture. This is when they're calling them pictures, okay? Like, this is a black
Right.
picture, and like you said,
True
it
black
shows
picture.
the entire spectrum of it. So it shows the high end of black entertainment, and then back to Gabe when he's shining shoes, or his numerous cousins that own limos and or drive limos. And the first thing I
Just
seen when
hustling.
I saw that was the difference of what a limo is now. that,
Yeah, we,
that
we
was
we came a long way.
that was just a four-door, basically right now an SUV. Imagine
Yeah.
right now looking at a Yukon and saying, "This is my limousine."
This is my
They're gonna
limousine.
look at you crazy. But it's a very black movie, like I said. I don't maybe I missed it. I didn't see a white face in there,
No.
throughout the whole film,
Yeah, I didn't either.
and that's something that it's really hard to get away with, but also they were in black spaces. They were not in any integrated spaces throughout the film.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a really
And I
good
think
point.
that's one of the reasons why you do have no white faces in it, because majority of our spaces, I mean, they're not coming into these spaces.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point. And that's something that I think is a good point to emphasize. So I know a lot of this film is very heavily focused on the relationship between Lena Horne's character and Bill Robinson's character, Selena and Bill. From your perspective, Chris, like, why do you think that relationship was, or do you think that relationship was like a big reason as to why this film was as popular as it was? Because obviously Lena Horne is well known at the time, but what were some of the elements that you think story wise, or just maybe the aura of a film being made by a major studio with an all black cast? Like, why do you think this film did so well overseas and even, here in the States as well?
Straight up level of talent.
Yeah.
So I do want to point out that this film was successful despite the fact that it was not shown in every movie theater, right? So like you have like progressive movie theaters that were showing the film, you had black movie theaters showing the film, but that is a small overall group versus like all the other films that were able to be successful at
Hmm.
that time with like majority white cast or all white cast. And that sort of thing, right? Like all white cast will go to a black neighborhood, right? But an all
Hmm.
black cast is never, you're not going to go to a white neighborhood in the South, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. And then but like really like the idea of like Bill Bojangles Robinson and Lena Horne kind of shows like the old entertainment guard and the new entertainment guard. Cause like Bill Robinson was like one of the sort of most well-known and highly paid black performers like of that era, right? Like because he didn't really have to do the whole like maid or butler route. I mean, yeah,
Hmm.
in like the Shirley Temple films,
Yeah.
most definitely, but like a lot of it, like you could tell he was there not just to be some dude that like brings somebody a drink, but like, you know, he's a dude teaching like this young little white girl how to dance, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's doing things that like haven't been done before. And Lena Horne in the same way, right? Like, um, Hollywood didn't know what to do with her, but
Mhm.
like they completely recognized her charisma, her beauty, her talent, right? Like when she is in a film, that film does better automatically, right?
Mhm.
But I think they were afraid of that because Stormy Weather cost much less than a lot of the other films made then and made more based off of that with less access.
Uh-huh.
And I think that like bothered people, right? Because
Yeah.
like that was the last time she had a starring role in a film. It was
Really?
1943, towards the beginning of her 7-year contract.
Mhm.
Like, and then what they do after that, they were like, "Oh, you know, you should be in Showboat." It's like, "No, no, we're not gonna put you in Showboat. We're gonna put some white girl in Showboat, but you get to play her voice, so you get to sing for that white girl. How about that?" And
Mhm.
oh, you know, like we don't really know what to we'll use your voice, or maybe we'll put you in we'll have you play yourself. You'll play yourself and you'll sing a song, but we might cut that song out when we put it in a show in the South, right? Like when we put it in a movie theater in the South. And
Mhm.
that's sort of like the thing. They had to like literally limit her success because she's just so talented and beautiful that like it was uncontrollable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's and I actually didn't even know that they used her voice to voice over for the remainder of her career. So you're telling me Stormy Weather, after this, she did not get Lena Horne did not get a single starring role after this. That's
No.
crazy.
It is crazy because that movie made money, and they
Yeah.
know it made money.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's actually wild to think about. And then so as far as Bill, how did his career kind of turn out after this? Like, was he still getting pseudo starring roles, or was he kind of relegated in the same way Lena was?
Yeah, he still was, but, like, he was old. So, like, this
Hmm.
was, like, toward the end of his career.
I'm
Gotcha.
looking at it now.
What
He died in 49. This came out in 43.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
like
it was
6 years
not
after
that
this came
much
out.
longer after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he was born in that stinks, I can't even see.
78.
Oh, 78,
May
yeah,
25th.
1870.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
1878.
Yeah,
Yeah,
1878.
yeah. We got
Yeah,
we gotta specify with
1878.
that one.
Yeah, he's an old man at this point, right? Like
Okay.
paying a love interest against Lena Horne, which a lot of people, or some of the reviews I've read on the internet was like, well, there's no real chemistry between him and Lena. It's like, yeah, he's an old man, but like
Yeah.
their talent chemistry, that's the
Yes.
thing. That's the thing.
That's
I
yes.
would
I think the talent
say
chemistry is what did it.
so the one thing, and I don't for tell you I hate period pieces, which part of this film is a period piece. It goes back there in
Yeah,
the right after World War I, but it's just an older movie. All right, it's harder
right.
for me to sit down and watch older movies, so I don't watch a lot of. So this may be something that happens more often than not. I don't know. This is it's kind of shot like a play. You know, we
Yeah,
don't see we don't see all of their interactions. So to say that there's not chemistry, I think every time we see them together, there's a lot of chemistry. You know, even from their initial meeting where
Mhm.
she asks Jim Europe, she's like, "Hey, you know, I want to find Bill, he's Clem's brother or Clem's friend, whatever." And he introduced him and it's an immediate thing. And I forgot his name the entire every right after they said every time was it Chicky?
Oh, chick
Yeah, Chick
yeah,
yes.
Chick
I know which character you're referring to.
so, you know, and he sees it immediately, you know, and they're not
Yeah.
he's really trying to get with Lena the entire time, which they kinda, you know, because 'cause they're partners in business, but he sees that connection between them. So, that's one thing that I seen immediately, like, there was a natural connection between them 2, at least in a film. It's a lot
Yeah.
harder now, or it's easier to see now in movies where you're like, okay, I don't see how they were playing a love interest together. But to me, I mean, I see it. I seen it immediately with them two in this.
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
That's
that's
pretty
a
cool.
surprising critique for me to say that, like, they didn't have chemistry on screen. They had the most
Right.
chemistry on screen to me.
100%. I think a
Yeah.
lot of it comes down to the fact that they're not physically engaging or
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
kissing.
yeah.
But people got to remember the films in the 1940s, they're not like that.
No.
Yeah. Like, that's just not a thing for a lot of films back then. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I have a deep catalog of 1940s movies that I've seen,
Well,
but a lot of movies I've seen that were made in the 50s or before kinda have that similar, like,
Well,
very
yeah,
conservative in what they decide
because
to
of the
put on
motion picture
screen.
mhm,
code.
and
Yep.
Yeah.
there's a scene where he's explaining the house to her, and they're together. We know that they're together because it's
Yeah.
implied or they say it. And he goes, "This will be your room, and this is the
Right.
nursery." So he's already
Right.
explained where the kitchen, the living room, and his room is. Because back in the
Right.
day, they wasn't, I think what was it? It was an episode of was it All in the Family? I think they said like, that was the first time they seen a married couple in bed together.
Right.
Oh wow,
And
yeah.
I think that's the show, but it was some show in the 70s. But they didn't even have these people in the same room, and we didn't even see them there. So
Yeah.
that just so like he
They
said,
never
how
showed that.
conservative it
Intimacy
was.
was not shown.
Which
Like,
I'm not mad at, because at this the movies now, it's too much. I don't need to see Jason Statham in a love scene while he's trying to find the bank robber that killed his son's dad.
like, how does that serve the story?
It
Yeah.
doesn't.
It's overused a lot now for sure. Absolutely. I will give you that. It's thrown in left and right. Whereas it is definitely an interesting change of pace to kind of go from viewing the films of today to then seeing this to go like, wow, we came a long way in what audiences are willing to look at on screen for sure. And you did reference, I believe the character's name was Chick Bailey.
Chick Bailey, that's what it was.
Yes, yes. He's the ultimate hater.
Oh my God.
Like I did
Yeah.
want to touch on him. He's like a supreme, like from the moment Bill was like, yeah, I'm thinking about going to Memphis. Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should definitely do
That's
that.
right. He did say that real quick.
You should. Like just immediately, as soon as Lena Horne's character started showing interest, he was on that immediately. He wanted Bill up out of there.
And at that point, it was just like interest of, oh my God, you're a good dancer. Oh my God,
Yeah.
you're a friend of my brother's. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
even like a love interest at that point. And I think, Cheek Bailey, he kind of pushed it towards him by being a hater.
Yeah, 100%. Also, like, how do you fire somebody like right after he's the reason why you got the best show of your life? You say, I never got an applause like that. It's like, yeah, because
it ain't for you. Because it ain't for you. That's why. Yeah, no, he was on his Lex Luthor tip in this for sure. He was a problem. Yeah, he was a problem. But no, I do definitely appreciate that I saw this for sure, because I think a lot of films in just the history of Black filmmaking that don't get talked about enough. I know I was for a while on like a really strong Blaxploitation wave, like going back to watch those films a couple years ago. But to see even further than that, like how much further Black filmmaking stretches, I think is very rewarding, at least, an experience for me as someone who's a film buff. And then also just learning about people I didn't know about before. Like
Right.
I wasn't aware of the Nicholas brothers before I saw this. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't very familiar with Dooley Wilson. I'd heard the name before, but like this is really one of the first works of his that I've seen from start to finish that I can recall. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's just a lot of very important people in just the history of Black filmmaking, actors, writers, whatever, that I think to your point, this film has a very large catalog of talent. And to see all these people in one film and to be able to be educated myself on a lot of these people was very rewarding for me.
That's good to hear. I mean, that's why we do film showings like this. I think the reason why I didn't go with Boys in the Hood, which I love, or Us, which I think more people need to see, specifically in this time period.
Yes. Yes. Shout out to Us. That's one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, that's what's up. But like, I feel like this film points to like a history of like forced misunderstanding.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Because like we act like racism is a have to be in this country when it really doesn't. Like they had an understanding of like how powerful Black minds were and Black ability was, right? Like there was a film that was released the same year by the US government that like heralded George Washington Carver and Charles Drew, right? Like so the federal government definitely knew, right?
Yeah.
Like there were people that saw that film that definitely knew, but like and like saw other films where Black talent is just like amazing. Fred Astaire said of this film that it was the best dancing in a motion picture that he had ever seen. And like, dude is like I remember watching his films as a kid, never saw the Nicholas brothers.
Yeah.
Right? It's just very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Kind of speaking to some of the other aspects of this film, you've touched on Lena Horne and Bill Robinson. The director, Andrew Stone, I'm not very familiar. I'm not too familiar with his work. Are you able to speak to just a little bit of how he kind of went through the process of or going into this? Like, I don't believe, looking at his picture, does not look like there's a
Yeah,
lot of
he's white.
melanin in
Just
here.
in case you don't know.
So
He's white.
I'm trying to understand the background of this man going, I want to create a film with a majority or pretty much all black cast in the 40s, and I'm gonna have 20th Century Fox distribute it. Like, that just had to have been a crazy story behind that.
Well, he did another film with Cab Calloway again, Sensations of 1945. But like he made about 30 films
Okay.
compared to Lena Horne's only 13. I just want to put that out there.
That's
And
crazy.
right, and 7 of which were musicals that he made.
Mhm.
I feel like it was more of like 20th Century Fox sort of like saying, "Hey, you're doing this picture." Because like back in the day, a lot of directors, actors, whatever, just like thrown at a project because all the studios were kind of in charge of Hollywood. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like the contracts were strict, but like sometimes they would trade people over, right? Like because Lena Horne had a contract with MGM, not with 20th Century Fox, so she
Mhm.
was probably like traded over for something, you know, like hey, we'll take that actor for a film if you take this actress for a film, and
They
then
used to
like
do
you know.
that. Like a sports team type deal. Like,
Yeah,
we're
like,
swapping
but temporary
picks. We'll
contract.
give you all.
Could you imagine if you could like be a team that say like, yeah, we're just gonna borrow LeBron for like 5 games, and then we'll
And then
give him
send them
back to
right
you.
back. That's crazy. So that's essentially like what these contracts were. Like, studios were essentially going, all right, here, we'll loan you our actor or our actress for 2 or 3 movies, but after that we need them back. Did they get like
Right.
proceeds from that? How did those
Oh
contracts
yeah,
work?
no, they got picked
Okay.
back.
Yeah.
You know what though?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
like.
the
It's
studios were
not
making money.
it's not too, too wild. And I say that just because of how looking at today, how the Sony pictures are shooting
Oh yeah,
Venom and how
yeah.
Spider-Man is in all
Right,
these Marvel movies.
Spider-Man.
It's not they're not sending it now. It's different because they're not sending the actor over, but they're
Yeah, this
sending
is
the
a
character
character they're
over.
trading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
But
it's
okay.
Right.
still interesting. You're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
because now it's not guaranteed. I don't know how, like you said, I know movie business was completely different back then. So I don't know. I'm sending you over for this, but your contract, what you have in your contract with us, might not be guaranteed with them. Is that how that would work?
Boom.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's why Lena Horne is like wearing that like feather and like she kind of looks like a native, but like obviously not because it's a lot more glam than that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, but I don't think like her contract that her dad helped sort of organize with Louis B. Mayer, like she did not want to be in a film that like portrayed her as a native or like I said before, like anything like that. And like it's really funny how this 20th Century Fox film basically has her kind of doing that thing,
Yeah.
She's
right?
singing about being Samoan.
So huh?
She's that in that scene. She's singing about being Samoan. So,
Well, that's what they wanted her
Yeah.
to do. Like a
Yeah.
lot of times they were like, "Hey, could you play like a Spanish girl or a Mexican girl?" Or
Mhm.
like she's like, "No, I don't want to do that. I'm black." It's just very interesting. Like but that's always been like a thing with Hollywood, right? Like looking at films like West Side Story or
Yeah.
like any number of films, they'll uh put someone in blackface just so they can like man promote white supremacy. I'm sorry, I gotta say that.
Yeah, no, it's
Like,
accurate. It's very real, and that was definitely. I don't really have a lot of really critiques of this movie, honestly. Like, I really enjoyed it for what it was, but I guess the main critique would be that like it really felt like even though this movie was very unapologetically black and had a lot
right.
of very strong black characters in it, there were very not so subtle reminders of the time period this movie came out in, and if it really did. I feel like detracted from a lot of the positives that this movie had in it. You know what I'm saying? Not to the point where I didn't enjoy it, but it's kind of, I don't want to say a stain, but it is definitely takes away from the enjoyment of this film a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
100%. There is a composer, William Grant Still, who was the first African American to conduct a major American symphony, right?
Hmm.
So like he's working on this project and like he's seeing all this stuff happen, right? Like he's seeing like, oh, there's blackface in the script. You guys got like this cakewalk where they have these like really terrible sunflower hats.
Hmm.
Um, like you have like Bilbo Jangles like dressed like a native, and like I know they know what they were doing, right?
Mhm.
Because like William left the project, right?
Mhm.
Because he's like, I don't want to like perpetuate these stereotypes going forward.
Yeah.
And that makes sense to me, but like it'd be really interesting to see how Stormy Weather would look if it were like directed by a black man or
Yeah.
like the main choreographer was a black person, right? Like they had Catherine Dunham like doing some work in the film, and they had
Mhm.
the Nicholas brothers like basically in charge of their own set, but
Mhm.
like they weren't really trying to like showcase black people consistently positive.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm glad you referenced the sunflower scene because that was
Oh,
like the most
jeez.
egregious thing. Like, and I remember
I didn't
you.
even see it the first time. Like I saw it on a small screen. I'm like, oh, this is
Mhm.
kind of cool. And then I put it on my TV set. I'm like,
Like, oh shit.
So that's why when Chick Bailey said, "I'm gonna put you on top," and they got Buddy in a
yeah.
tree, and I'm like, hold on, what am I looking at right now?
Yeah, like
Like,
what
What
are we
brother, what are you
doing?
exactly am I looking
doing?
at? Like this, and again, I'm not even thinking about it like this is a movie put out in 1943. At the time, I'm looking at it like Chick Bailey is a real person with a real show going on right now. I'm like,
Right.
this is what you putting on, dude.
Yeah. No, exactly.
It was just it was
Eh,
very wild, like you said. It was right after they show a lot of positivity. It shows, and I don't even want to say it's a lot of showing what the time is, but it's sprinkled in there. But it's enough that you're like, yeah, this makes sense. This is exactly what they would do to us. Like
Yeah.
like it's exactly what they do to us. They don't want us to. They they didn't want that movie
I
to be
kind of
that
wish
big.
Chick Bailey was more white looking.
100%.
Honestly, I'm not trying to throw any
Yeah.
shade, but like I feel bad that he was like that, like treating other people, treating Bill's character like he wasn't worthwhile, even though he recognized his talent.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mhm.
know, um, it is what it is. But like I know that there are like instances of like black people trying to build shows for white audiences, which I think what he was doing. But
Mhm.
like I think at the end of the day, white audiences will come out to see like what black people will produce, regardless of like adding racist comments, like racist content rather to it.
Yeah. Like we should be able to just unapologetically display whatever art we want to without having to, adjust it. But I think Chick Bailey to me kind of represented a character who was kind of stuck in his ways. Like I don't think he really wanted to change, honestly. I think he was
No,
he was very set in this is how I know how to run show business. This
he's
is
like,
my
I got my
program.
money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got
Yeah.
to listen to you.
Exactly. Yes. Like my shit don't stink. This is my program. I run it how I see fit, and you can either get with it or you can get on. Like that was
Yeah.
kind of how that was his mindset on it, and regardless of how
Yeah.
problematic the content was.
But then going back to, probably the best character in the film, Gabe.
Yeah.
To
This is your MVP right here.
I love
Arthur
Gabe.
Dooley, not Sam Dooley, like I was saying. Arthur Dooley, yeah.
He's hilarious. Like when they showed all the advertisements, and it's just Gabe. He don't have no words of
Yeah.
encouragement because he could only afford to say who
I
it's
just want to make
from.
sure my name got
Yeah.
there.
So, and I'm looking up. I mean, even the beginning of the film, I know y'all talking positivity and blackness and all this, but I'm gonna talk about the comedy of Gabe in this, all right? Because it's a musical comedy. So let's get back to Gabe.
Absolutely.
Definitely. No, he makes it sing,
The
right?
beginning of the film, the whole that entire first number with them marching, and he's like, "Hey, I'm calling some girls up." And he's like, "Yeah, that's gonna be trouble for him." And he calls a girl up, calls a limo up, and he's in there. She's like, "I gotta go to the bathroom." Gives her $1, and then he goes, "Yeah, I only got $4.30 till I get to the poorhouse," or something like that. And then she's like, "I want this. I want all of them." She's like $3. And he just
wiped him out.
he just looks sick the entire time.
And then when Chip Bailey was basically like, "Yeah, I got the table," and he's like, "All right, let's go."
All right, man, perfect. Say less.
When he said that about champagne, he like, "Oh, you got ginger ale and I've got what the other drink was. He might
Root beer, I think.
Yep. And he's like, "Oh, I usually drink champagne. I don't really want none of that." And he's like, "Oh, I know somebody. I can find it for you." He's like, "No,
No, you gotta do all that. That's cool. That's cool.
She's like,
You
"It's
don't have to
supposed
try
make
too
me
hard."
feel dizzy."
Yeah, first of all, that waiter was not with the program
He
at
was
all,
not.
bro.
He
Like,
was not
hey,
picking up when
lock
he
in,
freaked
gang.
out.
I don't got it right now. Help me,
He
please.
was
I don't
not
got it
picking
right
it
now.
up.
You see, I'm with the girl. Come on, man.
like, bro, help me, please.
And she
Yeah,
was just. I wonder how far before that did this happen. Well, that was the same night. So did he know her beforehand? Because she was a ride or die for her man. When Chick Baby was like, oh, okay, she's like, that's this, that's wrong, that's this. He gonna act like he don't even know you.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't think she gets what's going on here. No, she was down for the cause.
Kind of interesting, like how dumb her character was, but also like money grubbing too. Like,
yes,
it's just a lot of fun.
I mean, but in her defense, if he out there throwing money around, they say, hey,
right,
it ain't tricking if you got it. And I guess
because
it is tricking because he don't got it.
He ain't know he wasn't
did it to
tricking.
Ship, right? Like Gabe did it to Ship, right? He's like, I got the table. He's like, yeah, you got the table. Right? I'm out.
Yep.
He sure did. When he get up right, because and it's that right before he said that he's like, baby, let's go dance. She's like, you said you didn't want to dance. He didn't want to dance because he was sick. He was sick. He said, I don't know how. He said it to himself. I don't know how I'm gonna get up out of here tonight because they's gonna make you wash some dishes. They was gonna bust you upside your head too. But you was gonna do some work.
He knew it too.
No, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. I'm very, very pleased with my experience watching this. Absolutely. I think this film had everything, and I'm usually not a musical person, just to get that out the way. Vito don't like period pieces. I don't like musicals.
I don't like musicals either, but I wouldn't really consider, even though this is a musical, it's not a musical in the sense of today. So like
this isn't the type of musical I don't like.
Yeah, this was
so
a musical.
Fair.
It made, like I said, it made sense. Like this is like a again, it makes sense with the story. Like that's the same thing if we're doing a movie about a boy band and they're singing on stage. They're not breaking out in the middle of having a conversation, singing their conversations. So I'm fine with that. So like back then, this is considered a musical because there's a lot of singing in it. But today, it would just be a comedy, I guess. Because today's standards.
No, that's a fair point.
At all.
That's fair because usually the type of musicals I don't like are that to that point, like something serious just happened, so now let me do a quick 2-step out like I'm the Temptations and what I'm saying, break out into song. I think like the most egregious example of that recently was when I saw Joker Part 2. And Harvey Dent was like, we're going for the death penalty. And then Joker like does a slide across the table and starts singing. It's like, I don't think this is the appropriate time.
We talked about that. No, I don't want to hear you complain about that anymore because I told you, one, I didn't like it. And I'm going to get back to the blackness in a minute. But the first Joker was not that good. I don't think that was a good Joker film. That was...
it wasn't.
It was not. like trying to start...
It wasn't a good Joker movie. It's a good movie, though.
It's a okay movie. But they put the Batman element into it so more people can go see it. That's not a Joker movie. It was not.
I agree with you.
That's a movie about some schizophrenic man.
It could have been anybody else.
Yes. They did not have to add anything about Batman in there, anything about Bruce Wayne in there.
You got me there. I have no rebuttal for that.
I think that's part of the reason why I don't like it that much. But then when we found out it's going to be a music, the second one I already was not thrilled about. We found out it's going to be a musical. And what did you do? We talked about this back and forth for a minute. And I guess this is going to be my tangent for this episode because the movie doesn't really give me a lot of opportunity to to go off on. But
yeah, I gave you the layup for your first tangent today. Congratulations. You're welcome.
It was an insane concept to make that into a musical where most people don't even like musicals. So to take a movie that was already, in my opinion, not that good, and then say, hey, let's add a bunch of singing to it. Let's throw Lady Gaga in here, and let's let Joaquin Phoenix sing as well.
Next to Lady Gaga, yeah, that was a
piece.
that was a choice.
Back to Stormy Weather, however, a lot of things that it's weird because a lot of things that I don't like about movies today are things that I actually enjoyed about this movie. One, it's a short movie. It's an hour and I think 10 minutes or something like that. Hour 18.
Yeah, hour 18.
It is a period piece, which again I don't like. I said it was shot like a play, and it is where there's a lot of, I guess, disconnected parts of the film where there'll be. It's like it's almost like everything is because he's telling the story of it as today, but it's a flashback. So it's a lot. That's why it's so disconnected because the kids are asking questions, then he's going from point A, point B,
Mhm.
point D, point B, point C, you know? So it
Yeah.
makes sense in the way that it's shot. So, like, that's one of the things that I liked about the film that if we're watching the movie today and I'm like, "Yo, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they're talking about this at this point. I don't know how this jumped." But we also have to look at during the time, like you said, they're not showing intimacy on camera. So you have to kinda use your imagination and get what's implied at that point.
Right.
So
Yeah.
some of the things that I don't like about movies today were the things I liked about this movie. I wish we would have seen a little more of Lena Horne because while she was
Right.
a main I'm drawing brain farts right now. She was a main actor in this film. We didn't see that
Yeah.
much
Right.
of her, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, Bill was definitely more prominent
Mhm.
than she was, like, from start to
Yeah,
finish.
they could have easily given her a little bit more. Like, she felt like, if you look at the interviews of her, she felt like she didn't really act in the film
Mhm.
because she was
Yeah.
barely in the film, and also,
Mhm.
like, you're surrounded by, like, Cab Calloway, Fats Waller, Ada
Yeah.
Brown, like, Ethel Waters, like, all these different people, and she's like, "I don't feel as good as them."
Yeah.
Like, which is too bad because, like,
Mhm.
girl, you're Lena Horne, come on.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
everybody
Exactly.
was blowing, you know? When
They
Yes,
were,
I ain't
they
gonna
though.
lie.
were and I'm looking at it every time I see them start dancing, I'm like, "Yo, we've been doing this footwork thing for a minute." Alright?
Yeah. Yeah, no, they had it
That's
together
what's
for
up,
sure.
man.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you wanna give ratings on this one, Vito.
I think this is one where I don't think our current rate I don't think a rating system for today's standards will fit this. Just
Would fit this.
I
That's what I
think
was
just
thinking too.
watching it and, appreciating it as it is, I mean, first of all, it came out in 1943. I wouldn't even feel comfortable rating a movie
You
made
feel me?
like
That's why I was like, I don't even wanna
Well, then
rate this. Like, I just wanna
instead of
appreciate it.
doing rating, how about we talk about like one reason why the people should see this film?
I like that a lot
Okay,
better,
so,
yes.
I mean, again, I'm a big comedy guy. There's so much comedy in this movie, um, and it's not always might not been involved, like, just right in your face. It's a lot
Mhm.
of, like, real slow coming comedy that pops up. One, Gabe, for instance. I can't get enough of Gabe.
Yeah, Gabe.
I can't get enough of Gabe. You know, or I mean, just being able to see these, I mean, for the legends, you know, perform in the film, if things that you're not gonna see them in a lot of things today, they're not talked about like that. The only name that I knew for sure was Lena Horne, and I have never seen anything with her in it because again, I don't like older
Yeah,
movies. And I've heard of Fats Waller, but like I've never everybody else is that all that was new to me. So I mean, just
yeah.
it's history.
Yeah. Well, if you guys segue, if you guys want to see Lena Horne a more recent film, The Wiz, also a musical.
Oh, I did see the Wiz. Was she in that?
Yes,
Yeah, she was
yes.
Galinda, however you want to say it.
Oh, okay, got you, got you.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a
No,
good
yeah.
witch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely, for sure.
If you believe in yourself like I believe in you.
Yep, yep. Okay, yeah, dang. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Um, I would say one reason people should see this movie, kind of piggybacking off what Vito said, aid for history. I think, um, like Chris, originally brought up, this is one of the first all black or a film with an all black cast that was produced by a major Hollywood studio. It was one of the highest grossing films of that year. A film that is stacked with black talent from top to bottom. And I think really just off of the fact that this is an era of filmmaking that is not talked about a lot today for, just
Yeah.
considering how old it is, but then also just given a lot of the very talented actors, actresses, and people behind the camera that were involved in this film that we really don't hear about. Because to Vito's point, Lena Horne is the only name I was familiar with prior to watching this film. And I learned a lot about a lot of people who had some really great contributions to black filmmaking that I otherwise wouldn't have known. And I think if that is something that interests you, if that's something that you're gravitated towards, if it's a person like me who loves Black history in general, but also loves films, I think this is a movie that is definitely something that'll get you exactly where you're trying to go as far as you're expanding your knowledge base and just having a good time, honestly. It's I think, very high quality comedy. The music is really good. Like the story is heartfelt. I think there's a lot of things that people could draw from this film that they should definitely check it out.
Yeah, that's awesome. So 100% the talent for me, like the talent drives the film. Like
Mhm.
comedy is also pretty awesome too. Like Arthur Dooley Wilson, who played Gabe, he was in what Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart, right?
Yeah.
Like, so this is actually an opportunity to see that man like really act, right? And like he is so much better than the Sam character. The Sam character is good, but like it's obvious that Arthur Dooley Wilson should have had more of an opportunity to like be in films in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But my major things is like the dance number by Catherine Dunham. Like she actually started a whole like dance school that is still going on today. Like her techniques like have lasted since the 40s up to today.
Oh,
There are
wow.
people that are still like studying her moves and how she moved, which is awesome. But like beyond that, the Nicholas brothers, like that dance scene where they're like
Yes.
jump up out of the audience and then like dancing down the tables and then dancing in the bandstand and then like on those giant stairs, dancing up the stairs, and then doing the splits one after another, like down the stairs. Like a lot of that they did in one take. Like
That's incredible.
Right. And they didn't rehearse it. Like
That's wild.
Like a lot of people sort of put ownership to the Nick Castle, who the choreographer for this film, but like it's obvious that like all of that was the Nicholas brothers, and they were probably like talking to him about like, oh, what do you think we should do? And he's like, yeah, you guys are good. Just go on and
Do your
dance.
thing. You should do your thing. Yeah. That's how you know you're like that.
You know
like,
what-
hey, whatever y'all want to do, go ahead.
What was kind of weird about some of the dance numbers was I'm looking at it, I'm like, some of this looks so simple, but I would not be able to do any of it.
Right.
Yes.
I'm looking at him like that's so simple. When he was talking to the kids, when we find out that that's not their uncle at all, and look, this little girl was just going through his mail, left all the mail on the floor, and
She
took
was.
the magazine. But you know, he's talking to her. He's like, "Yeah, this is when I created that dance step." And he's like, he do a little 1-2 step, and then he slides his leg around. And I'm like, that's so simple, but I feel like I would mess that up somewhere. Like I would have to practice a lot just to get it off how he got it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm sorry. One more with
Go ahead. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
finish my thought. They're so good. They make it look simple to you.
Yeah, they do.
You know,
Yes.
it's like
That's really what it is.
Look at the moonwalk. You know,
Right.
when you
It
see
looks easy.
it looks easy, and a lot of people like, yeah, I could do the moonwalk. You don't do the
No, you
moonwalk
can't.
like Michael does the moonwalk. You don't.
Yeah, no, that's very real. That's very real. I think this movie has a lot that it would be very rewarding if it was shown to more audiences. I think this is a movie that more people, especially more people that look like us, should see. A film that should be talked about more, just in the annals of Black history. I think,
and film history.
and film history. Absolutely, I think this movie had a lot in it. I'm definitely very grateful for the experience getting to see this. I would ask if people have seen Stormy Weather. I know y'all haven't. We're telling y'all to go watch it. So go ahead, ahead and watch Stormy Weather,
stop.
and then in the comments
You
let
can
us know
watch
what
it on
y'all think.
YouTube.
One more-
It's like on YouTube
Yes.
right now.
I paid on
Yeah.
Amazon to watch it.
The full movie's on YouTube. The full hour
But
17
I got
is on YouTube.
one question for you, Chris.
What's up?
Because I thought about it as I'm watching it, and then I started thinking it would just be ruined. How would you feel if this movie were to be remade?
I think it should be. I think
Okay.
the reason why I think this movie should be remade is they have an opportunity to tell a better story. I think there's a story of racism, specifically around soldiers in World War I and World War II,
They didn't touch
that
on.
definitely need to be told,
Mhm.
right? Also, like, you know, this film is like supposed to be like live happening as World War II was going on, which was happening in 1943, right? So, like, the fact that they're not talking about like how difficult a decision is for Black people to go into a war where they know like when they come back, they're not going to be treated the same, right? Like, I was talking to some people earlier and they were talking about how like people would go off to war and then come back and like, I survived World War I or World War II. And then like, now I got to survive my neighbors.
Yeah.
Like that's weird,
Yeah.
right? Like as much as this country shows reverence towards soldiers and people that serve, they don't offer the same affordance to Black people that do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, right? I think that's a great story to tell. And like, even if it's as like non-intimate as this film, I think there's a lot of story around like the background of like Lena Horne's character trying to become a starlet, like in her time,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
working the game hard, and then like also Bill Robinson's character like never finding a job, right? Like he was picking cotton, he was like waiting tables, and
Yeah.
like he was a really talented dancer, right? They could upstage someone who already had a show,
Mhm.
right? So I think there's like a great opportunity to retell that. It's just like, can you find a piano player as good as Fats Waller?
Yeah.
Maybe, right? Like there's some really awesome people out there, definitely. Can you find someone that can dance as well as the Nicholas brothers? Ooh, I don't know
Yeah,
about
that one's
that.
gonna be a little that one's gonna be tough. That one's gonna be
You
tough.
know what though? 20th Century Fox, y'all heard it. I mean, let's let's get the ball rolling on that. Start looking for
Dude,
these
Disney now,
entertainers.
actually.
I'm sure it's a set of kids somewhere in some city that's not
Oh
famous
yeah.
anywhere, and they could
For
definitely show it
sure.
to us. And I asked that question because, like I said, I'm looking at it as I don't think they would try and tell the same story, and
Yeah.
that's why I said I
Yeah.
think it would be ruined. I don't think they
Yeah.
would try and tell the same story because I 100% agree. There are so many elements of this film that aren't touched on that could be, even without the intimacy. Like I said, I think the simple, and I'm gonna let you in this because I know I'm going a little bit over, but
No, no, you good, you
I
good.
there's a lot of intimacy in, the way that,
Oh, the things they
Le
talk about,
that Lena and,
right?
Bill were talking, how they were talking, speaking to each other, the way they looked at each other. Um, there's a lot of
Yeah.
intimacy in that, so I think they could do it without making it a disgusting film to how they do
Right.
movies today. Um, but I
Just make the relationship feel more real,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, or just
Yeah.
see them
Like
together more,
simple
yeah,
and
something
like
Yeah.
very simple that could be done.
like
Um,
genuine.
I I
Yes.
didn't think I would
Yes.
enjoy this movie. I did not, because again, 1, it's an older film. 2, it's a period piece inside of an older film. So
Yeah.
but like I said, it's a good story. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely, definitely appreciate your time today, Chris.
Thank you so much.
Taking the time to come and join us humble film reviewers over here. Let people know where they can find you at and how they can support the Ann Arbor Black Film Festival as well.
Well, definitely. So, we're still taking submissions. So, if you have a movie that you want to have played in Ann Arbor, Michigan, um, you can go to a2bff.org, right? Or you can go to Instagram and look for A2 Black Film Fest. We're also on YouTube with that. So please connect to us through our social media by visiting our website. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, we're trying to bring really awesome talent and just like different ideas to showcase in Ann Arbor because we have a generally progressive town that isn't perfect. It is not perfect,
Mhm.
but there are people here that are really interested in learning the full breadth of history and seeing like different kind of content that you wouldn't get in a regular like white suburb.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's sort of the cool thing about Ann Arbor, definitely. Um, but yeah, like check us out in those spaces, and I hope you see you in June for the Ann Arbor Black Film Festival. Yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. Once again, appreciate you, Chris, for taking the
Yes.
time to join us today.
thank you.
Um, Always continue to like, comment, subscribe. We do appreciate all the support. And until next time, this is the Real Junkies. Peace.